Hey everyone, Cody from Mac Telecom Networks. In this video, we're going to go over how I plan my network racks and what materials I use to do my cable management. I've had quite a few comments on my on-the-job videos about how I do this, and now we'll take a closer look. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the bell icon. If you'd like to hire me for network consulting, visit www.mactelecomnetworks.com. You'd find us on Instagram at Mac Telecom Networks. And we have a Discord server, which I'll put the link in the description below. In this picture, it's a typical small office setup. We have our network rack, we have two patch panels, a switch, and a UDM Pro. And we're using 6-inch patch cables into our network switches. I'm going to bring my camera over to the side. We'll do a top-down view of all the material I use, and then we'll start setting up a rack on my table. The first piece of equipment that we use is this Keystone patch panel, or the unloaded patch panel. I just find the Keystones are a lot easier to terminate and have cable management. This is a no-name brand, but I will put Amazon links for everything that I show in this video. We then have these blank panels for our network rack. So for any RU that isn't being filled, we will put these in. This is a 1 RU, but they also come in bigger. Here we have a 2 RU that we would place in a 2 rack unit space that's not being used. We then have these blank panels for our network rack. So for any RU that isn't being filled, we will put these in. This is a 1 RU, but they also come in bigger. We have a 2 RU that we would place in a 2 rack unit space that's not being used. We also sometimes use these mesh cable managers. So we would place this into one of the rack units, and then we would pass cables through the mesh. With the Ubiquiti UNVR, the non-pro version, you have to plug the cables into the back. I'll show you how I route the cables through this when we get it put in. For Keystone jacks, we use vertical cable vmax jacks. These are Cat6 jacks, and they work with the vertical cable eye-punch tool. This is the vertical cable eye-punch tool, which works with the vmax jacks. Once we have all our conductors inside the Keystone, all we need to do is crimp, and then it's ready to go. We also use these black or white blank Keystones. So for any port that we're not using in our patch panel, we will put these planks in just as a finishing touch. These are very easy to put in the patch panel. We just snap them into the back. And then we have no open holes, and you'll see this all covered up when we put it into our rack. And we also use velcro to bundle all our cables into our Keystone patch panels. You could get velcro in any color you like. I'll be using white cabling for this video, so we're going to use white velcro. And the last thing that I'll show is these Cat6 slim 6-inch patch cables. This cable is by Monoprice. I'll put the link below. And this is just a custom one by a distributor by me. I love both of these 6-inch patch cables. On the Monoprice one, I really like how the boot looks. Now let's take a look at the rack and start mounting some gear into it. And here's the rack I install for my small to mid-sized business clients. It's an 8U open frame rack. One thing I really like about this rack, on the front, there's already pre-drilled holes, so we don't need to use cage nuts. The first thing we need to do with this rack is to put in a Keystone patch panel. That will be going at the top. Below that, we will be putting a switch, and then we'll put a UDM Pro. So I've placed 7 cables on the top patch panel. We need to fill the empty spots with blank Keystone plates. After I'm done that, I'm going to put in my Unify 24-port Pro switch. Okay, we're a little further ahead. I forgot to hit record, but I'll explain what I've done. We have our patch panel at our top, and then we have our Unify switch. Below that, we have another patch panel, and then our UDM Pro. Under the UDM Pro, we have our brush cable manager, and then we have a 2U blank and then a 1U blank. So we need to patch in our cables into our switch with our Cat6 6-inch cables. So our top patch panel will go on the top of the switch, and then our bottom patch panel will go on the bottom of the switch. Okay, we have our cables plugged in. The last thing we need to do is plug in our UDM Pro into our switch, and we use a DAC cable for that. I typically use a 0.5 meter DAC cable, but I only have a 1 meter, so it's a little long. Now with our DAC cable plugged in, if we needed something plugged into the UDM Pro that had a back-facing port like the UNVR, we could do it through the brush. All you do is grab your patch cable and then push it through. Then you could just plug it into whichever port you want. Let's have a closer look. With the 6-inch patch cables, it makes it have a very clean, neat look. So that's it for this video. I really like the 6-inch patch cables and how I have the rack laid out. There's not a cable mess everywhere, and it would make for troubleshooting easier. If you have any questions about this video, please leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell icon. Alright, thanks.